Clix and Veno are going to dominate this FNCS. I picked their best few games and I broke them down in a pro style VOD review so we can all learn as fast as possible. Let's get into it. All right, let's go. Clix and Veno pro style VOD review. Let me get my notepad open and we'll see what we can learn. So we know where they land. Clix and Veno, I know what they do. Like they're just gonna sit in zone, play storm, depending on the zone, of course, but like I'd imagine they just do that, sit on the pad, play storm. Yeah, they just have full control of this left side of the map. So bring heals up, trade, probably still there if I skip here. I'm curious on this though, if they just sit and wait for this. Like Veno's here, do they just, I mean, they've got so many medkits here. Edge in to save some white HP and then they just, yeah, campfire medkit, play it. It's pretty nuts. I mean, this is like, I don't like deep dive into every spot when the new season comes out, but like this is definitely a crazy spot. Like this is like, the things that you can do with this is just nuts. But at the same time, you got to have teams like this to be able to do it, and you got to have a coach like what they have to be able to do this. Like you're not just going to be able to create this like perfectly without the situation they're in. Like they're really great players, and then they have a great coach, and like they can draft these ideas and execute them really consistently, properly. But they're just max surge, sitting in zone, dead side. And then as for loadout, I mean, they're running the typical things. They got, you know, fizz med kits that you need both those. And this is a nitro time. This is before crash pads are in the game, so now they probably would have dropped big pots for crash pads. And they have forecast as well, which is great. Iceberg, thank you for the tier 1. I appreciate it. Tag them up. C zone. Oh, did they leave insta? Oh yeah, they left early. Yeah, so I mean, this is just, they have forecast, right? So they just tag, wait, and then this is something I've taught and done a lot. Like I do this myself. Like I'll just re-verify this point with you guys, but like going ahead in the last 2 seconds, I mean, you can see like all these teams are just kind of like sitting, waiting, having the map open, like, you know, doing random shit, right? Like, so they know where zone is. Obviously they've been known where it is, and so you just wait, and like 2 or 3 seconds on the clock you go before it pops, and then boom, now they have it. So that's good. Still really good maths, like cap maths with this forecast strat they have. Forecast, hill, pad, it's just so insane. I mean, this is like one of the spots in the game where you just, if you're not winning a tournament or not winning games from this type of scenario, is just insane. I don't think they win this game either, which is crazy. Nitro, stay elevated, right? Basic. Oh, he gets chops. Stuff. Yeah, this is also something that I do, or I've seen them do especially, is just I mean, obviously the scenario they had to heal, but I think they would have done this most likely no matter the scenario, like no matter if they're full HP or not. But just stagger, go late nitro. Like they just stagger, heal up. They actually have to heal up, so that's why they are staggering a bit, right? But they would have done this regularly. So they go. Obviously with nitro you can just sprint around. And it is kind of nuts. I mean, they are a height focused team for sure, but like him looking at height from just dead low is crazy. Finds a way up. Wow. He tries to go for it, and I don't know what the call was there for him to stop going for it, but yeah, they were shambles, these guys. Let's see what let's see what happened to Clix here. Oh, he just gets stuck delayed from Dukes maybe. Let's see. It's so hard to tell with server lag, but he just gets hit, loses his shield. Sphinx is just there. He's kind of lucky he didn't die. I mean, yeah, it's just, I mean, it's a psycho play in my opinion. Like, to go for height. I know this team like clearly is not that stacked, but like they're just, it's just crazy, bro. They just go for height from any layer. It's nuts. Like height on NA this season is so griefed, bro. It's so griefed. It's bad. Like you have so many teams looking for it. You're gonna have, I mean, you've got Batman, Booga, and Rapid. They've won so many games from height, and they probably, I wouldn't be surprised if they got like a top 3 this game from looking from height, or even taking height, or winning from height. Like, so he just gets hit. But yeah, he just gets hit going up for it because it was just like a solo play to go up. It could have worked. Like, I mean, he's imagining that they're not there. He's like, doesn't seem like Veno knew that Sphinx and Dukes were there, but either way, they give it up. Now they have to go for a refresh. Yeah, he sees it's pulling up the hill, just probably comp solo get up. Now it's time for a refresh. Let's see what they do here. Right on team Nomads. They get another body. Oh, now they're sacked. Oh. I mean, this is just typical Fortnite, right? Like, you just go for height, didn't get it. Okay, drop down, use all your mats to go for a kill, go for refresh. Of course, people are just like shambles where you can just literally DMR their top and just kill them, right? Like, but wow, this is just insane. This is crazy patience. Either they have no builds or they're just super patient from Marine Ritual. Oh, they have builds and they just... Wow. That's tough. Clix them are pretty stacked. I mean, they get ahead here. They're good. That's tough. I mean, I would say the things I learned from this game would literally just be that it just reestablishes that Veno and Clix want height bad. Like, they looked at it from like down on low ground, like ulti low, and they went for it from ulti low. Like, they don't really care what layer they're on. They're gonna go for it, or they're gonna look at it. So if you're just not playing height like anywhere to perfection, you're just gonna get looked at and fought. Like, they're gonna just find the small errors, and Veno is very good at picking those out, especially with BloodX live coaching or in the call, like, or helping them even after. Like, they're very good at like finding those little moments where like you're just slightly too high, or they just see an opportunity, right? And they're also very good them just individually, so it doesn't really matter. Like, even if there's, you know, maybe there's not a small little hole, they still could take it from you. And yeah, they just play their spot. Like, the good thing is, not that they're like an aggressive Peterbot Poyo type of team, but like, I really don't have any thought of them being anywhere on the map other than the bottom left. Like, they're just gonna be, no matter what the zone is, basically, they're gonna be down there. And yeah, they're just gonna sit and play dead side. All right, let's see. Game number 5. We're just gonna skip this because we know what they do. I just want to see what they would do on this certain zone. Also, they have, what is this, the highest forecast spawn? All right, so they just get forecast almost every game. They have all day. It's just insane that, like, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I don't wanna, this is like scapegoating, but like, I'm so surprised that there's not a mid-map split like here that's viable. Like, why is there not like a little house here or something? Like, there's just nothing here. So like, this is just, it's insane that this is like the claim they have is crazy because they're the most stacked team here. Like, this team, surely, like, they could go for it. They probably, you know, this probably was the split in the past, but like, it is just crazy that, like, I don't know. It's just nuts that there's, you would think that, like, obviously, I don't know, man. The map developers and like the people at Epic that are like building these maps, like building the POIs, placing things where they like all that stuff, you would think that like they would see what open areas or like what crazy spots like what crazy claim there is, and they would make, you know, something there. Like we see all the time. Like we were gonna see this season. There's gonna be a pirate boat to the middle of the map. Like they add things around the map, but like they don't add it for like the right, like for a reason. They just add it because it's like some new DLC or whatever. Like they're just getting paid from Pirates of the Caribbean. Like, oh, bet, let's take the 5 billion and put a boat in the map. But like you would think that like they could use their brain and be like, yeah, this is a pretty crazy spot to claim. Like they have both hills, the forecast, all the POI. They probably have down south. Like let's add, you know, a couple buildings, or let's add like, you know, something here, like a small little shrine here that maybe has 5 chest spawns or something. I don't know, something. Like they could find something to do here. It's crazy. Like there should be more here. This is definitely a spot you could land, right? But like you're gonna come with nothing. And so obviously at the pro level in the top lobbies, nobody's trying to be that shambles, especially with a team like this nearby. So they just, it gives Clix and Veno the entire claim. I'm not gonna like take the credit from them. I'm sure they've fought for this. I'm sure they've like made sure that they know, like everyone in this lobby knows this is their pad. But like still, right? Like it's kind of crazy that Epic doesn't think about those things. I don't think, at least from my 7 years, I've never seen them once add a spot because a team has a lot of claim. That's a crazy kill. I mean, okay, this is getting off topic now, but imagine this with squads. Imagine this with squads. 2 people here, 2 people here. You have this entire corner fully claimed. It would just be nuts. Oh wait, look, this is me. I'm close to Clix and Veno, guys. Oh my god. Yes. Okay. Anyways, back to the gameplay. They just sit here, right? They're just gonna trade, and they probably sit in zone. I mean, we're skipping ahead here, but I mean, we didn't see it. But they probably, I mean, they just patted in, I'm assuming. Max surge, sit quiet. They get a kill here. I'm assuming they get keyed for surge. Oh, looks like they go for a third party. Yeah, they see these guys are trading in the kill feed. And they just trade. Visual seeing, he just 1v2s. Like, what? I guess Clix is just the best. All right. So now they have like 4 bodies worth of loot. Clix gets hit. All good. He's peeking at height. So for me, right, this is the way I'm looking at this. Like, I see an opportunity here for, this is a scenario that I see myself in a lot, right? I'm looking up here, see a team tarping with metal, building out, like deep, going ahead. Like this is crazy, right? Like one's far back, one's front. Like, not saying it's a bad play entirely, but like, and I'm trying to apply like what I would have done, and now I want to see what Veno and them would have done, right? Like, what do they do against a scenario like this? Is this something they try to take it from? And it also lets me know, like, if let's say like I see Clix and Veno are in my lobby, if let's say I try to play like this, and I just saw that in a VOD that they, you know, did some X play, crash pad, or I don't know, teleport on them, right? Whatever, right? Like, then I would know not to play like that or try to play differently. But it looks like they just, I mean, they have really good mats. They've got max mats, and Veno's dropping ulti low. This is like the most confusing thing is you can't find Veno like that. Like normally, right? Like OG stuff, you'd feel like, oh, this is the second high team. It's got to be Zayt and Saf. You know, it's got to be this team. It's got to be whatever. But like he's just dropping full low. It's actually nuts. But on that same note, is like the reason why they're able to get so many games on height is because they don't go for it at this point in the game. Like they just they'll let Macwood or, you know, Batman Booga, whoever else go for it earlier. They've consistently been taking it way later than when you would think with the opportunity given. Like this is probably an opportunity to take it. Like they could definitely, I know there's a good split here. It's like they have control of it, but like, yeah, I mean, you could definitely just still take it. Like Bolts and Bryce are probably someone's gonna try to take it. And they know that, so they just continue to play the option here. And they have forecast. Yeah, so same thing that we saw them do in the last game. Same concept that I've done, and I assume a lot of pros do. So if you have a chance to go early, like, and you know where it's going to go, like you have forecast, right? We saw them do it on the hill where they ran to zone. You just pre-run, like you just 5 seconds before, 3 seconds before, you just run to zone. Like everyone else is waiting, sitting here, not opening. They're literally telling their teammates, don't open, don't take damage, rotate, it's about to come. Like, could be max pull. That's everyone knows that's the comm. Like you don't want to be fighting 3 seconds before zone goes. So same, that's in every zone for the most part in these pro games. Like you don't want to be fighting or like looking for anything. Just relax and wait for the zone and like read it as fast as you can and then make your call. And so like they know they can do that, and so they just go for free. Like you would never do this in the middle of the zone. They just wait for the last 3 seconds and they go. It's basic. Now they're going for height. Oh wait, someone else chopped them out. Yeah, see, look, these guys chopped them out. So they look for it. I mean, from what I'm understanding, they look for it purely based off of Bryce and Bolt's looking for it. Like they just go for the double. Got a whole squad looking at height. So now you got Bryce and Bolt's fighting for it, and now they probably try to take it from them. Yeah, let the griefing begin. Now you got all these teams. Now you still got Veno with 80 builds, 70 builds each. Just let them get into position, and Veno will be the last one standing. I mean, and this is the greatest part about their play style, is that it's so consistent that like they're not like full sending it. Like this is like, you would expect this to be a Peterbot play. He sees a team fight for it, he suicides it. Like whether it's the right player or not, Peterbot's a great player for doing this because he's so good, because he can just kill the guy. Like he's very mechanical, obviously, but the height option is almost always better. Just see if you can take it, keep looking for it, and eventually you'll get it. Still looking for it. They still have a lot of builds. Also, I mean, from watching their games, and sure, this definitely gives me some, like, an understanding of what you would need for height. I'm not like, obviously I understand you can't go with 5 builds, and you should go with, you know, I get that you can go with 30 builds, but I feel like I've seen them go for height with like 20 builds each. Like they don't really, there's not like, but if they're anything below 20, I think they just stop. But obviously 44 is still really good, so they should be looking for it. But it does give you like a good understanding when you watch teams go for height. It does give you like, it helps you understand like, okay, like this is around the comfortable area that like this team would like to go for it. And so you can apply that to yourself. But yeah, 44 builds is like, you should be lurking on it. And with this, with so much claim here, like from Peter and Pollo, it's just nuts. Like they're going to be able to take it here. Oh, so he just plays, one plays for Peterbot, one plays for Pollo. It's smart. I mean, you know that if you pump Peterbot there, he's going to go up. So they like, one has to look for it. Clix has to PG, and it just happens to be a really good team. Looks like Clix dies, and Veno is fighting Peterbot. Bag work Cam takes it. I'm not gonna lie. This is like, I mean, this is very close to how Heats is gonna be in my opinion. I think it's gonna be just if you take it first moving like reciprocal, you're done. You try to take it the next time, you're done. It's gonna be like this team or Pollo right there will just take it. Like if whoever wins that like last little fight right there is just gonna win the game. I mean, that's it pretty much. That's all we can really watch here. I don't know who wins this game, but maybe Cam and Diminished. Never mind, maybe not. Oh, wait. He might win. Give Cam time. Let him cook. Man, Cam in his prime was crazy. Was Cam the best controller player in his prime? I know we've had a lot. Was Cam the, like, was Cam top 3 in his prime? I mean, think about Day in his prime. Think about Mero in his prime. Think about Cam in his prime. Like, dude, those guys, like, dude, Day was crazy. Prime Day was crazy. Mero's always been nuts. I think Mero just is already just a top 3 no matter what. But like Cam was insane, bro. Cam was crazy. Also, Illest, bro. You guys remember Illest? That guy was a dog. That guy was crazy. Illest was insane. And Reet, bro. I don't know. There's been so many good controller players, honestly. It's nuts. It's nuts. All right, so the things we've learned so far, right? I'll write it down in a notepad here so we can have constructed thoughts. Let me do this. All right, so things we learned so far would be, I mean, basic, like, Clix, Veno are going to be bottom right of the map. Like, they're just going to sit down there. You could expect them to be down there. It's not like, that's not a big detail. You don't really need to know that. But, like, also, from that first game, like, they will look at height. Like, they're going to look at height. They're gonna just find a way, no matter where they are, they're going to continue to look at height. So, like, if you're on height, if I'm on height in heats, and I see them in the kill feed, or I know they're still alive, there's like nothing I can do for them to stop not look. Like they're just not gonna not look at height. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I mentioned earlier, is like height is just grief. Like you've got so many teams looking at height. It's actually insane. This is the most I've seen on NA in my entire career. Like it's nuts. Like it's crazy. Bottom left. Oh yeah. You're right. Bottom left. All right, so they're going to look at height like 100% of the time, even on lower builds. But obviously, you're not going to know the builds they have, right? Like they're going to find a way to like. I mean, the game 1 we watched, I think it was a game 3, game 4. Like the fact that he like mantled up from ulti low and still went for height is just they're gonna. It doesn't matter. Like doesn't matter what layer they're on. Like it doesn't matter. I mean, I'll write this, but like this is a point that I already know. But like, I mean, they're just like they have forecasts, so they go like they just go a few seconds early, right, to get to the best position before everyone else is like looking at their map, right? They're sitting kind of relaxing, waiting. And then let me think. I think this. I mean, I'll reestablish this point, but like they just don't play like they're not like a strictly second height team, right? Like they don't play just second height. Like the amount of times that I've seen Bryson Bolts on second height is I can't even more than I can count on my hands. Through scrims and through tournaments, right? We've seen them. I think on the Peterbot video I did, they were second height in that, and they tried going for height. Like they are just a second height team. Like they put themselves second height. They look at height. If they get height, they win the game. But like Peterbot, or what am I saying? Clix and Veno just are the opposite. Like they don't. I've seen them go ulti low, and then they still look at height. I think just full credit to Veno and BloodX, honestly, and their understanding for height. Like Veno is just the best height player, fragger. I don't know what role he really plays, to be honest. Like he's doing everything, but like on EU, like I mean, he's with Queasy and them. Like they're the same players. He's just a better fighter. So yeah, they don't just play second height, which means like you just can't expect them to not look. Like you just don't know where they're gonna come from. There's any angle, any play, and they can take it. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. I would say the main things for me that I'm taking from this, because obviously there's definitely some filler stuff that like I've already known, would be like that they're just not a strictly second height team. Like you would imagine, right? Like that any team that goes for height a lot is going to be second height a lot, and they are, of course, you have to be, but like the amount of times they've just dropped low is crazy. Skip later in this game. This is a 20-minute game. Does this help you, or are you voting for them? No, I'm not voting for Clix and Veno, and this does help me a little bit. Like I said, like when you're voting other pros, you're applying your concepts, and if they do what you would do, then you know it's right, or you know it's like it's probably the play in that scenario, right? So you just go through a bunch of scenarios every game, every time you vote a different player, the way that they would respond, the way you would respond, and you just kind of add, and you could just it gives you like a different perspective on a certain view, right? Like I think it was last game I saw like Clix and Veno just drop straight ulti low. It's like, okay, wait. In my eyes, I might have thought like that was not a possible thing to go ulti low and then come back to height. But now like your perspective changes, you know what I'm saying? So that's why you're bot reviewing, right? To just get a different perspective, to understand the game differently, to view it differently, and to apply your knowledge to the game and see what another team would do. And you know what would work, what would have worked better. So they're getting held, which is, this is the first time this has happened I've ever seen. They just plant medkit. Also, I don't want to say like this is like I hate saying this because I feel like you can make any spot, you can shape any spot into like a crazy spot. Like you can make like any spot insane. Like you could watch, let's just use Ceice for example, because I think that they're like the masterminds of just warping a POI into being crazy. Like you could put Ceice on any spot on the entire map and they will make it really good, like 100%. But like, dude, this spot, the things that I've seen, the fact that they can just sit here, they're getting their whites up. They have a guaranteed vending machine for shield every game. Like this is here every game, so guaranteed whites. And they have a pad, so they can play the pad perfectly the same every time, right? Versus like there's spots on the map. There's certain things that you cannot do. Let's use like restored for example. Like we don't guarantee get whites. We like medkits. Like we might get 2 medkits, we might get 1, we might get 3, we might get 5. You know what I'm saying? Like there's randomness there. But like when you can have a consistent play every time, you can really shape things out of it. So that, and then also just like the way that their spot works with the control they have is crazy. And on top of all that, like even on alternate plays, like you would imagine like somebody taking this hill, like let's just say we saw this as like a screenshot, like okay, Mason's holding them on the hill. That's smart. He can get surge. He knows they're going to come for the hill, whatever. Like doesn't matter. They're like their alternate option is still really good because of just the way the land is laid here. Like there's not really someone over here taking these plants. Maybe that's just, I mean, I'm sure that's all dead side plants, but like at a certain spot, I mean, even back here, like you would imagine like this plant, I don't know, I'm not sure where the plants are exactly over here, but like, let's just say there's like a plant here. You'd imagine that like, because it's in zone now, it's probably already been taken before this because somebody's already rotated, but like their option, right? Like from their perspective, they take the option B here and they go around and they get, you know, this chest, they get this plant, they probably get the plant that's in here. Like that's still there. There's probably one up here somewhere, I forget. Maybe not. I mean, there's just like these plants are still here. It's just crazy. Like this one's here. Just because nobody, it's like not a hot plant, but they have it in a route. It's just nuts. And then they have this pad. Like you combine all this together and you can do so much in opens. It's insane. Like they have every option to the like possible. Like they said hill, they pad. Okay, doesn't work. Doesn't, you know, team goes there, no big deal. They go get the plants. Okay, that doesn't work. Okay, the plants are taken. Okay, no big deal. Use their whites, fizz pad, go to zone, dead center zone. Like they can just do so many things. They have also on top of it, I mean, the tunnels, everyone has tunnels, right? But like they can just get to that tunnel, go. Like doesn't matter where they go, they can play in any different way, and that's why they're been so consistent this season. The spot is super important. Yeah, that's enough of me yapping about their spot, but like it is just, it's crazy, right? Everyone knows that spots are important. Like where you land, you have to land at a good spot to win tournaments. Like the only person I've ever seen in history all time do well from like a mid spot was Reverse 2K, Miro, and Day. And like, you mean Reverse is crazy, but Miro and Day in their prime, what beats that? Like nothing. I don't even think any team in the world would beat that. So it's like they won from a mid-tier spot. Like they just have all these plants. Like they're just dicking around in zone. Like they're just running back and forth. I'm sure they have a play in their mind, right? Like, but still, like the fact that these plants are still here because they like there's just control. Like they just have this plant's probably still here. Like that one's there. So like there's so many options. Like I'm comparing this to myself at Restored, right? Like obviously it's a little different because we have so many teams that are like in the mid map, right? But like if we ever need to like make a play where we need to get like extra whites, we have to surf the POI for whites, like find whatever we can. All the plants around us are guaranteed to be taken. Like this will never be here. Once it's in zone, obviously plants don't respawn in storm, so that's gone. Like so we don't have things like that we can just do. But it's just crazy seeing it from their angle that like they can just, they've been in zone for like 3 minutes and they're still full HP and haven't wasted any heals and haven't had to do anything, you know, pop bandages or whatever. Like they just been running around. But it's the first time I've seen them this low on surge, so they have to fight this team, I think. Maybe not. They pull zone with forecast. Oh, yeah, on top of that, I mean, they have forecast every game, right? Pretty much. I don't want to say this is like the. I mean, these guys are solid, but like, I mean, you can definitely pick on the bad players. Like, imagine if they were fighting Reet and Ritual here, like it wouldn't be the same. So like, this is just, in my opinion, this is just the way FNCS quals is like through all the rounds, and especially even round 4. You're gonna have teams like Nerface and OSID. Again, no disrespect, but you can't say that they're as good as Reet and Ritual. It's just not. It's just not. That's not true. So like, you just gotta pick on the right players. I'm sure if they realized, oh my god, if they realized it was Reet and Ritual, they probably would have just done something differently, gone to zoner like early or whatever. Now they get a crazy headshot on OSID, saves their game, brings them back, max mats. Plus they have forecast already. I mean, this guy's crazy with this DMR. Power forecast, right? He just knows he goes all the way around, like free. I don't think this is like that like forecasty of a play. Like, I know that he knows the forecast is there, but like it's not too bad of an idea. Like, you have it. I mean, you have Nitro, you build up the hill, you play dead side. Like, it's not a horrible idea. I think I would have done the same thing. Who knows though? I mean, they're making this game look like it's a qualifying round. This is a set lobby. This is last game, right? So I think they get top 5 overall or something like that, and they had a bad last game, 20th place. This is interesting. I mean, it looks like they die soon, but I don't think I would have gone down the hill here. I'm trying to see what he sees. Like, you see like old builds in front of you. I don't know why he would go down right, but like, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Like, you definitely just go left here. Right? Like, maybe, I don't know. Maybe he just knows there's a lot. I mean, I guess you could say there's a lot of people on that side, but let's see. Yeah, he's gonna get stuffed here. Yeah, there's literally no way that's the play. Like, holy, this is aura right here, bro. What are you doing if you see this, bro? Don't tell me he dies like this. No, I mean, yeah, that definitely wasn't the play, right? Like, they just rotated through the gut and just got buried, right? Like, they probably could have done that and came up here, but still, it's just a scary thought to have to climb up that. Like, I mean, you could see a team that was pretty close to them, right? Like, this is a big thing you can do in VODs. If you guys don't know that you can do this, you can take a team like Veno and Clix, who were here or wherever they were, and then we saw Pink and Marrow right here, and you can combine their, like, you can just analyze their paths. Like, look at Pink and Marrow spot. Now we'll see what happens with Clix and Veno here in a second, but like, right? So you can be like, oh wow, we had a very similar position, and this is where you ended up versus where I ended up. You know, this is why this happened. I'll watch back Pink and Veno real quick to see what they did. Like, left was definitely the play. Yeah, he just goes up. This is kind of psycho, but he gets up. Nitro OP. They're up. I mean, I'm not gonna say that's what I would have done 1 of 1, but that's probably what I would have done here. I think for us in our scenario, we would have had skulls, so we probably would have just ran like this, used a skull, dashed up, got here, and then just got up, like 100%. But anyways, let's just see what happens with Veno here. We know that he gets stuck below here. And I think I saw somebody in my chat say, yeah, Berg said that they forced forecast, which is true. I think this is the first time I've ever seen them like get punished for forcing forecast, but also like overly force the forecast. Like, it looks like he really wanted to be like stuck like on the left side. Like, he wanted to get, like, he was not happy with like sitting like here, you know, he wanted to be there. And like, that's just, I mean, yeah, just the way it happened. and I'm not saying that I've seen them many times not be on the front of zone. Like I've seen them many times have forecast and they know it pulls that way and they're still here. And like this is the first time I've seen them really force it and they die to it. Yeah. Bang. All right, well, what did we learn from this game? We learned that their spot is crazy and they have infinite options for whatever they would want to do. I mean, we can go back on that. They have a pad here. They could just go. It's just crazy. So they have a lot of options. So, I mean, you just really can't counter them. Like, there's nothing you can do to, like, push them out of a certain thing. They can just, I mean, obviously with Mason holding them, they lost their surge opportunities because they ended up being below because they were in zone for so long. But that, and then, yeah, that last game we just saw them kind of just force frontside and just kind of reestablishes the thought that, like, you shouldn't overdo anything, really, like, especially the forecast positioning. You don't have to force to go front, right? So, we'll play this game out, though. We'll see. We'll see how these guys lose height or win height. These guys win from height? Like, what happens here? What the? Well, there we go. Alrighty. Alrighty. That's it. Clix and Veno, done.